Alright, so we got a lot of stuff we got to get through today. So let's start off. Okay, so we're gonna start off a shtickle with the story of Timna.
Which one's after?
Okay, so Tzadi Tet Amud Bet. Let's just start by where the wide lines are in Sanhedrin. Start off with Sanhedrin. Tzadi Tet Amud Bet. Yeah. So
Sukkah as well.
What's the first word on the line?
that was it. You can start there. Yetzirah Betchila Doime Lechut Shel Kuvia. Tzadi Tet Amud Bet.
First medium-sized wide line.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go weiter. So how does this work? So it says L'sov Dome La'avot Ha'agala. This is not really what we're going to focus.
Tzadik to
Right.
Sanhedrin.
So Dotan ala miat achot dotan timna. Okay, so this is Timna. Is we're going to focus on this. Maihi Timna. So who is this Timna? So it's Bas Malachim Havai. Right? So she was the daughter of Malachim. Dichsiv Aluf Loitan Aluf Timna. The Kol Aluf is Malchusa. However, below Tagahi. So Taga, they're going to say, is a crown. Right? Let's just see, is there a Rashi for there? Right? Yeah. It's Malacha below Taga. Is there a Rashi on this? I don't know if there is, but so that's what it is. So she's a Malacha below Taga. She's a...
Oh yeah, there is, on the right side.
On the right side. Ah, got it. Let's see, Malchusa below Taga. It says Sar Gadol Ela She'eno Mu'uter. Right? So it's a big Sar, but it doesn't have a crown. The Kivan de Timna Haisa Achos Melech, she was the sister of the king, Vadai Bas Melechi. Right? So she is, of course, a Bas Melech, but she doesn't have a crown. Okay. So anyways, so this is...
The sister that makes her a Bas Melech?
Right, so meaning since she's the sister of the king...
Why does that make you a Bas Melech?
Because whoever the king inherited it from the prior king, right? So she's a Bas Melech for sure. Right? That's for sure, right? So anyway, so she is...
Her sister got married to the king?
No, her brother. Her
Oh,
brother
brother.
was the king. Right, so Malchusa below Tagahi. So anyways, so what happens? Baya le'egura, right? So she wants to come and she wants to be Misgayer. She wants to convert. Basa etzel Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yankov. So she comes to some good people. V'lo kiblua. But they wouldn't accept her gears. So Timna, Aluf, you will not be able to convert to Klal Yisrael. Halacha v'haisa pilegesh Elipaz. So she goes and becomes a pilegesh to Elipaz ben Esav, a Rasha, right? And Amra mutav tehe shivcha le'uma zoi, v'lo tehe gevira le'uma acheres. Okay. So it's better that I should be a shivcha for the Jewish people, right, or at least for the Bnei Avraham, right? Than I should be, a Bas Melech for anybody else. And Nafak Mina Amalek Tetzarin Hu Yisroel. And this is the genesis of Amalek that has always created tsar for Klal Yisrael.
What is that? That package she wanted to be...
She was rejected.
She was rejected to be Messiah, and then she was just going to be Legas.
So she wanted to become Pilegesh to...
Why? Because she said it's better to become Legas of him.
Pilegesh of him than to be a Bas Melech of
How is
anywhere.
that? It's a Malek.
Okay, I hear. Okay.
Rejection.
Well, I mean, first of all, we know Elipaz is the ben of Esav. Esav is obviously the sar of Amalek, right? So we know. So eventually, they're just saying that she was Zoicha, that Amalek came from her and the son of Esav, right? We know Esav's son is Yankov, right? She was unfortunately Zoicha. She was negatively Zoicha.
Yeah. It's funny, but in the parsha when it says, all of the kids, it names only the kids of Esav as Alufim.
Okay.
It doesn't name Yaakov's kids as Alufim.
Doesn't say them?
So
Okay.
maybe it
All right.
comes from here.
Could be.
Rabbi, when someone righteous passes away or someone even good,
Yeah.
it says Zichrononi Tolecha. So someone who's wicked, so you saw Zichrononi Klala.
There you go. So we'll make Zichrona Likrala, right? Let's just check Rashi. She'eh yeshivcha lumazoi. Better muta that I should be a shivcha for these people. It says Lebnei Abraham Yitzchak, maybe Yaakov. shehem yirei shemayim, v'lo eye giveres l'uma acheres. That shouldn't be a queen. By the way, it's interesting because what is the problem that Amalek, the Torah, what's the Torah's criticism of Amalek?
Take away the She's doing the.
She was a Yirei Elokim, right? And then Amalek, who comes from her, that's the whole criticism, is that they were not Yirei Elokim. Very interesting. And what's Rashi's mashal, right? It was an Ambatya, a very hot bath, right? And they have the ant in the malad, he will jump inside. And he says, I know that I cannot cool it down myself because it's too hot for me, but at least I'll make it a little lower so the next person can make it lower and I can cool it off. And they say, this is Amalek. They knew they could not destroy Klal Yisrael, right? But if they would just fight, they could make it a little bit cooler, right? And they wanted to cool off the Yirat Shamayim of the world, right? It's very interesting that she's the person that wanted to do Geirus because of Yirat Shamayim, right? And the very child that comes from her, right? Mamish is a neged Yirat Shamayim, right? He's an enemy of Klal Yisrael. She wants to be part of us, and her child comes to destroy us.
Oh, out of this woman's child, Amalek came out?
Yeah.
She married Amalek.
She is.
Well, she married Amalek.
That's it. She's Amalek, right?
So the
son is Amalek.
If it
Her
wasn't,
son's Amalek. Yeah.
if
She
we
married
had
someone,
accepted
Amalek came
Mashma
out of
would
that?
not have Amalek in this world.
So now,
His son is actually named
so you're
Amalek.
gonna
He's the
get
father
to
of
the that's the Taisus and Yavamas. Hold on.
What's
well,
that? What's that?
Mari Gil, go ahead. What's your question?
No, I said if the Avot did accept her to become Jewish, does that mean Amalek would not have been born into the world?
Interesting.
It sounds like
And also, even the Fida Maskan of the Gemara, it's a shtickle like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Tzarin of Yisrael, my time of Delo Ibayalahu, right? So or my time of Delo Ibayalahu L'Rachka, right? So the way Rashi says L'Rachka, it says Mitachas Kanfei Ashchina Shahaya Lahem L'Gaira, right? I guess to some extent, because they should have been Megayer her, or whatever, or if they would have been Megayer her, something different might have happened. The wings of the Shechina, right? They could have been Megayer her, but they didn't, right?
Let me know.
So it's interesting why they. Okay, so let's go through the sugya just so we get it straight, right? So we have Timna, okay, who wants to marry into Klal Yisrael, right? This was Tzaditet Amud Betz, kind of towards the middle of the white lines, right? So she wants to convert into becoming part of Klal Yisrael, right? So the first question is, so she goes, who does she go to convert her? Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yankov, right? And what do? They don't take her.
What was her cheshek? What's the real shot?
Okay, so you're getting to Terutzim. What?
Isn't this Avram's avodah?
Oh, meaning what's the kasha? What do we know about Avraham? What did he do?
There's the kill.
It's a nefesh asher asu b'charan, right?
Obviously, there's a reason why he said he's left.
But I'm just saying, Lemaisa, this is the guy that accepts everybody and he pushes her away. So there's something wrong here, but we have to understand what it was, right? But this is very strange, right? And it's even the maskana of the Gemara, it's mashma that they really should have accepted her, right? Or if they would have accepted her, things would. We'll have to look at the Tosfos now in Yavamas to see, right? But that's we don't understand. The first kasha is we don't understand how come Avram doesn't want to accept her. He accepted everybody as an nefesh asher asu b'chara, right? Why is he pushing her away, right?
It could be that the fact that if he was Makabel her, then he saw that she would have diluted.
Okay, but I'm saying, he accepted a lot of people that could have diluted Yiddishkeit, right? I mean, a lot of people came in, right? How come all of a sudden, Mapitom all of a sudden by her, that we can't take her? You know something, wasn't Hagar the same story, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Hagar also like...
Maybe it was.
So we took Hagar, who by the way wasn't such a great gishmak drastic either. You know what I mean? That didn't do so. That didn't go so well either, right?
Maybe even if she did meet her, maybe Amalek would come be a part of.
I think
that would be worse.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better for her to go to. And then it's outside of Am
I'm saying it must be. I'm just not clear.
The way it sounds to me,
It would be worse.
It sounds to me, if you would have megaled her, if there would have been
no
convert,
Amalek.
there would have been no Amalek, and everything would have been fine in
No, you
history.
never.
So that should have
something
punished
out of her
Avram at some point.
generation.
There should have been a mention of
So,
Torah
yeah,
at
anyways,
some point that Hashem got
for her to-
no,
for
that
her to
Avram got
come.
punished.
It's better for her not to come through
I'm
Am
saying that would be mashal of this problem. But
To come
Alright,
outside.
I heard an
Am
explanation of this
Yisrael,
Gemara
such a
before, but then
guy.
it leaves the question of why did Avram reject her? The way I heard it is like Amalek is a result of rejection. That's why there's a famous story of the Chavetz Chaim, right? So there was Gemara Serse. There was a student that he had to kick out of yeshiva because he was caught smoking on Shabbos.
How come I didn't learn about this before? No. Okay.
Put
The
that exact way.
nice was really the whole problem was the atmosphere. It was the atmosphere. He didn't
Right.
give Esav his daughter,
Right.
and therefore afterwards he just ended up.
It's also listen. Esav always seems to be getting the short end of the stick here. I mean, not that he was doing such great masim tovim here, but it seems like there was a lot of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, Timna was not Esav. Timna really did not have to become a Malek, right? She came to be Megayer, and he says no. It's a shock. How come he says no? And it seems like, and Morigil's going to say also, like, it seems like Mutav she'eya shivchalu mazu, right? She wants to be the Bnei Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yankov, shehem b'yirei shemayim, right? What's such a bad? What's so bad? What bad kavanah is going on? Morigil.
It's funny that Father what he mentioned in relation to rejection, because the story goes, I don't know the exact reliability, is that Hitler, Yimashlim was rejected because he wanted to paint. So he came in front of the judges, and I think one or two of them were Jewish, and they rejected him from being accepted to an art school. And it seems like that rejection, we know how that story ended. Now, I don't know, I remember learning this, I just don't know the exact details of it, but we know he's Amalek himself, so maybe there's a thing where Amalek specifically gets rejected.
They got rejected.
Maybe they become monsters. I don't know exactly, and they took it out on us.
I hope they don't use that as a.
Reject the girl, before she becomes
Right. Okay, that stands alone. That comment stands alone. I don't think we don't got nothing to add to that. Okay, that's good. Okay, so number one, we don't understand why are they rejecting her, right? Number two, it seems like only she wanted to become a shivcha to people that are yirei shemayim, which is like a very good kavanah, right? And then number three, it seems like when her kid becomes a Malek, right? So first of all, he's trying to kill the thing that she wanted to be part of, and the Torah says that lo yirei Elokim, right? That they didn't have yirei shemayim, right? Which is the exact reason that she was coming in the first place.
He didn't get her genes. He got the father genes. No.
The Gemara here is saying that Timna was anti-Zoicher to be the mother of Amalek because of this story, right?
Yeah.
What Gil, how'd you say it again? Not Yimach Shema, but what did you say?
Zichronam
Zichronam, right?
Zichronam
Yeah, Timna Zichronam L'Klala, right? Was Zoicher.
You even say that about her though?
I guess so. I don't know. Okay, let's go next. Yevamos. Let's look. Okay.
So wait, hold on. Can we just get clear? She said it's better to be part of it. You're Shemayim.
Yeah.
Who did Timna marry?
She married Elipaz, the son of Esav.
And he learned with Yaakov, no?
Esav did, right? But his son became a Amalek, right? Their son, Timna and Esav, had a Amalek, right? And that's of course, Rashis, what is it? The Rashis of Goyim is Amalek, they say, right? They're the Rashis of the Goyim, right? We're the Rashis of the world, we're Klal Yisrael, they're the Rashis of the Goyim, right? Right? And by the way, just if you want to hear something else interesting, who is the Rashis of all animals? It used to be the Nachash, right?
Yeah.
It's also part of the Gemara.
Gemara,
Right. Anyways, we'll see if we get to that or not. But Lamaisa, so a lot of Rashis is going on, a lot of heads, right? A lot of things are going on. Okay, so let's just look here. Okay, so we have a Taisvis, right? So the Taisvis here, I think, was Yevamos, right? There was this. But was it Kuf Tesam and Aleph or Beis? What did I have? Yeah.
Aleph?
Is it here? Remember? No, I don't
This
think.
one seems about him, no?
I don't think it was the Amud Aleph though. Let me just see where it was. Yeah, this is it. Ra Achar Ra Tavo Makabla Geir. Right? Kuf Tesam and Beis. Kuf Tesam and Beis. Right. So this is talking about that. You only get bad things if you accept Gerim, right? Gerim don't do good things for Klal Yisrael. Obviously, we have to understand what that means. It doesn't mean all cases, but it means if you accept the wrong Gerim, right? Tahainu Heicha. So Amari Tahainu Heicha Shemasin Oisan His Gayer. Number one, if we accept Gerim because they're trying to get married, Oshmekablan Oisan Miyad. Or if we accept them right away, we don't force them to go through a difficult process, right? this is when it's considered ra chara tavod makabla ger. Okay, if we accept them for marriage, or if we let them go through a bad process. By the way, of course, this is what's happening to Klal Yisrael, unfortunately, today. Right? We accepted too many people for marriage, and we accepted too many people without being real gerim, and unfortunately, it's not doing very good for us. Okay. Anyways, shemasinos of this gayer, shemakabenos miyad. Aval im hena mitamsin of this gayer. But if they really are oimetz, they're fighting hard to convert. Yesh lanu lekabel, we should accept them. Shahare matzinu shenenshu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov shelo kiblu l'simna. We were punished. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were punished because they didn't accept Timna. Shabasa l'zgayer, because she came for real to the misgayer. The halcha v'haisa pilegesh le'elipaz ben Esav, and she ended as a pilegesh to Elipaz. V'nafak mina Amalek, t'tzarinhu liYisrael, and from here came Amalek, which is obviously a tremendous tsar to the Jewish people. The Amrina and B'Hagadas Chelek, Begam Yeshua Kivel Rachav Hazayna. Okay. And he's just giving you lots of different examples.
What was the punishment? That's the Shorashim.
But
why did they?
and the punishment for Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is that we have Amalek, right? As Mashma what Gil said, that maybe we wouldn't have needed Amalek if we would have accepted Timnah, right? I don't know.
The second example is a great, opposite version of that with Yeshua and Rachel.
But Afal Picha, it's just saying that if you accept,
He accepted it, and it was good.
If you accept Gerim, right, and there are a lot less Gerim, like Rachel was not a very high level Ger, right? It didn't seem like, and she did very well for herself, right? So the punishment that we didn't accept Timnah is that we get Amalek. So Ami, what does that mean? Avram was the biggest Kiruv guy. He was like Rabbi Edry before Rabbi Edry came. You know what I mean? This was the guy. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing it all. Like, he let them into the house and they could break his tent and eat all of his food, and spill on the floor. And he gave him a hug and, oh, my tzaddik, I love you. This is Edry before he started, I was like, what's going on? This one person, Timnah, he throws her out, all she wants to come is to be Yerah Shemayim. All she wants is to be Yerah Shemayim. What's the problem here? And then he gets punished? Madach, if what you were saying was right, who's saying this for? Because if she'll come in, she'll... What?
What's the punishment?
Amalek.
I didn't say that he got punished. That's why it doesn't seem like... It seems like maybe it's a collective punishment.
No, he said Tzarenu Yisrael. It was Tzar for Yisrael because the guy should look with them.
I know, but it doesn't seem like it's a direct...
Whoa.
I understood it as direct punishment.
Look what Taisa says.
But it's very tough for his head.
No.
In Henmat Nitzin is Gayer, if they want to do Megayer, Yesh Lanu Lekablam, you have to accept them. Shahari Matin Shanasu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Shelo Kiblu Letimna. And Shabasal is Gayer. The Halchav Haisa Pilegesh Lipas Benesav. The Nafak Mine Amalek Tzarin Yisrael. Right? So meaning we should accept Gerim that are coming, right? If they've been mitamitz, they're trying hard. Because if not, look what happened. Look what happened to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They didn't take Timnah, and then she went to Elipaz, and she became Amalek.
It doesn't say that we have to.
It doesn't seem
I'm
like...
asking.
If she really cares, she would continue fighting.
There's individual, like for example, we know that Yaakov got punished for not giving Dinah to Esav. That was individual. Again, you can always backtrack and say, Maaseh Wotzivan Lebanim, this is the DNA, and reverberate from central. That's true as well.
Correct.
But it doesn't, what I'm saying is, from this standpoint, arguing home, I don't see direct punishment to Abraham here for not accepting Mashma. It seems like, I'm sure you had a good basis for it.
But how are you learning Taisvis? Taisvis is learning that we should accept Gerim, right, who want to come, right, for the right reasons, right? And the raya that we should accept them is because what happened to Avram? Since he didn't accept, all these bad things came. So how are we learning
Bad
that
things are, but so it's unfortunate that it stems from him, that action, what I struggle to understand is the direct punishment for God.
You're saying it's not a cause, it's a correlation.
really
But even if it's a correlation, Tesis is still learning pshat that you have to accept Gerim, because if you don't accept Gerim, look what happens.
He's having a problem because he wants to understand that Avram himself, he should have been punished himself.
Wait, why
Right.
nothing happened? I mean, we don't see
Right.
stuff.
That's a good pshat.
I'll tell you why. Because Avram's whole topic was what?
If she really cared, she wouldn't have went to the complete 180 side. Meaning, if you really cared to go become a Jew, even if they rejected you, you would have fought.
But that's being Magale Lamafrey, right? Like afterwards, from what happened, we see. And by the Afal Picha.
No, even before that, what was her will?
But wait.
Oh, so if I don't get accepted to the best side of the Judaism, I go to the worst side of the Judaism?
No, first of all, she was trying to get accepted, right? She didn't do anything wrong. She
So
tried.
why go to the complete opposite side? Go to the dark side?
She went to the next closest thing, right? Yaakov won't take me. I'll go to Esav. That's the
She knew who
brother.
Esav was.
Yaakov wouldn't take her, so then she went to the other son of, to the other son of Yitzchak. She went to Esav. She didn't do nothing wrong. And by the way, Lemaisa, the Gemara doesn't even say anything. She did anything wrong.
I'm going to say she was rejected too many times.
But look at the diuk Rashi had. By the way, look at the diuk Rashi had. Livnei Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov shehen yirei shamayim. Is it hen or is it her?
Because of what he did.
She wants to be part of those that are
I understand, but it's not who she is. It's them who is Yirat Shamayim.
Yisro, he came in because he saw we were Yirat Shamayim. He wants it also. He didn't have Yirat Shamayim.
No, but Mashemua Shema Uba, what caused him to come? Meaning he wanted to come himself.
He came from Yirat
No,
Shamayim.
everyone,
He saw that we had Yirat
but
Shamayim.
everyone was hearing. He was the only one that actually came in this.
Okay, I hear. It's still hard. Okay, so Murigo, your cash is that why is Abraham not going to get punished? Why does Klal Yisrael get punished?
So Shlomo, tell Rabbi.
Unless you're saying that Bayaz getting punished, that really is a punishment to him.
Rosh Hashiva said, he said
Gil.
something that when a person is in that type of position, who's ruling over everyone, and he has this feeling, he has this vara that this is something that's right to do, he's not going to get punished for it, because obviously there's siyata d'shmaya for people who are
So only his
in a
kids will
high
get punished.
position.
Okay, but his kids will get punished. So he's you can
The
answer at
result
least
of
for
it
that
doesn't
question.
go back and
Okay,
forth.
so there's a lot. Meaning, so the
I
questions
have
are.
one more question.
Okay.
Why does Rashi also write Yaakov in parentheses? Meaning to not read Yaakov. So meaning Yaakov had an influence on this whole story. I feel like it was more Avraham Yitzchak's fault than Asher Yaakov's fault.
Right. Okay, I hear it for sure. What did Yaakov have to
Or
do with
maybe
it too
Yaakov
much,
was not
right?
Yirei Shamayim, 'cause
Okay, so let's just chazer. So the questions we got to deal with are: number one, why did they not take her in? Right. Number two is that it seems that she came l'shem shemayim. Right. Number three, Tosfos seems to also agree that she came l'shem shemayim, and that somehow it's some punishment. That's why we get to have a malik. And then number 4, 5, and 6 is that she only came to be part of us, and instead her kid tries to kill us. And then she came for Yiras Shamayim, and her kids don't have Yiras Shamayim, right? And then also, what is Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov doing? How could they make this mistake, right?
Why is it her fault? Why not Eliphaz's fault?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's even a better kasha, right? This is also really where she was going on that kasha, right? What did she do wrong, right? And Gofir was saying, wait a minute, how come she turned on us? She didn't turn on us. She tried to go to the Bnei, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. We wouldn't take her in. So she went to the next closest thing. She went to Bnei Yitzchak. Well, I mean, Zichrona Liklala. She has. She's
She was with Eliphaz.
Right.
The
She's
fact that
zocher
she
to
was with
a son
Eliphaz,
that's
right.
killing Klal Yisrael, right? Okay. So there's a lot of interest in. Let's just go back. Let's just go back to the Gemara and Sanhedrin a little more careful, right? Because when you back to Tzadi Tarim a bit, right? Now, when you read through the Gemara,
The white lines. That's
when you read through the Gemara, we have to be very careful, right? Rosh Hashiva wants to remind us. Okay, yeah, we could do this. You ready to read this one also? Okay. All right, we have to be very careful when we read through the Gemaras, right? Okay. Okay. So let's just chazer through it one more time and make sure we understood it right. Okay. So says the Gemara. Okay. So mias achos lotan. So mahi timna. So bas malachim havai. Tichsiv aluf loitan aluf timna. The whole aluf is malchusa below taga. Right.
Crown, without crown.
Okay, so it's a king without a crown.
I mean, Aluf is not. It's not really a king. She's
Okay, so Baya Lagura and Basa Etza Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov. Okay, so everybody say, what part of the Gemara did the Gemara not need to put in there?
Well, I couldn't hear you.
Which part of the Gemara did the Gemara not need to include?
I thought she was royalty.
She's royalty.
No, royalty we needed to know,
Why?
right? Because that's part of the zechus, is that she was coming from royalty and she wanted to convert anyways, right? That gives her tremendous prestige, is that she could have been rich and royal, and instead she decided to come and be part of Klal Yisrael.
That just strengthens the questions on Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov of why they didn't accept her.
Good. Wait. So Elamai. So Shlomi is picking up on something, right? So it says Elamai. That who was she? So Aluf Tina. V'chol Aluf is Malchusa Beloy Taga. Okay. So Yosef, why do I need to know that it is a king without a crown? Why do I need to know that?
She probably didn't have a chilik. A big part of the malchus. She probably didn't.
She was trying to look for an identity. She didn't have an identity of her own. She was trying to find a sect to be with. What?
This is like this. You're right. This is
No.
like this is why
Yeah, but I don't
No,
know.
I'm saying-
Because it
No.
seems like her premise
Have to
is,
throw in the
I'm gonna go.
Had
I'd
to.
rather be a shivcha.
Right.
Especially seeing this
Only way
close to
out.
her.
Yeah.
So
this is exactly what it
It
is.
seems like identity problem. It seems like.
Oh, Gil, use the right word.
So Zak Rashi Malchusa Beloy Taga. It's a Sar Gadol.
It doesn't seem like an identity problem. I think her identity was very clear to her. What she
No,
wanted to
she was
be.
like,
Oh.
without a crown.
Let's look carefully. It's a Sar Gadol, right? Ela she'enai mu'uter. Okay, so Shlomi, why was she
She's the
looking?
Queen of England, no real authority.
Why, why, why was she looking to convert into Klal Yisrael?
Where are you reading?
She didn't have a part of the mouth.
She wanted a crown.
She was zilch. She was just a
She
place.
wanted a crown.
It's not that she was a.
How are you feeding it to us?
Right, yeah. Shlomi is saying good. He's saying good here. He's saying good. He's saying that the Maisa is that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they read through this girl. Man, they saw they see what's going on over here, right? Okay, so I know that you have all the money, and I know that you have a lot of power, right? But you know what you don't have?
What else on?
You don't have a crown. You don't have a title. You don't have enough prestige for
Just
yourself.
say identity.
Okay. You don't have all the prestige, right? You
That's
have-
what the Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov said to her.
They're saying like this. The reason that you're looking to leave where you're coming from is not because you want to be part of us. It's because you feel rejected by.
That's the whole reason that she's a mullet now.
Okay,
She
we'll
got
see.
she found.
Okay, we'll get there, right?
Steer on toss for them.
Go ahead. So we'll see. You feel rejected. You feel rejected by where you come from, because they give you the money and the power, but they don't give you the crown, right? They're not giving you the prestige. They don't give you the title. It's a malchusa b'lo tagra. You don't have a crown. So therefore, you're looking. You say, you know something? If you're not going to call me the CEO of this company, right? Even if you pay me the most, and even if you give me all the decision-making power, I'm going to go leave and go to somewhere else's company, right? I'm not going to sit around here and take this type of embarrassment.
How did she solve the problem by going to Esav? Esav is also, they're considered alufim.
No, we're not up to that. Hold
That's
on.
an
Hold on.
understand.
Okay. So that.
Anyway, so I'm struggling to understand this thing.
She has everything.
In the Havamina, I guess where they were staying and where they analyzed it, it
Right.
makes sense. But her actions, and Rashi says that right after.
Oh, okay.
She
hold on.
says, Yeresh Shamayim, let me go to Yeresh
That's the
Shamayim,
problem.
which means,
So here's what I'm gonna
so
have.
her,
So I'm adding this onto the Rashim.
it proves the opposite.
So I'm learning like this. So what I'm gonna learn is like this: is that she came with two separate kavanas, right? One of her kavanas was not very l'shem shemayim, right? The only reason that she's open and she's looking for things is because she's just not happy with the prestige that they gave her in her own life, right? You want to say identity? She's just not happy with whatever status that she has in her life, right? This is the reason that opened her up. But once she started to search, so then she actually l'shem shemayim.
I'm happy I found this.
Right? She saw Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. She's like, wow, this is real. This is emes, right? They're Yirei Elohim, right? This guy Yirei Shamayim over here. You know something? If I'm not happy where I am, and I'm starting all of a sudden to open up and to search, you know something? I found the very best thing that there is. This is Yirei Shamayim. So,
Go back to that.
What's wrong with that?
so
Meaning if that's the premise,
okay, so what happens? So what happens? So Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they say, you know something? It seems like there's ulterior motives going on, right? Meaning, if somebody says, you know something, I really am looking to do something different because I met a very nice boy, and I'd really, really like to be the wife of this very nice boy, right? And now that I started to search, I happened to see Judaism. Wow, this is amazing. This is the very best thing I could have found, right? So no, that's not Balish. That's Pom Shemakabla Gerim. That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara in Yavamis, right? That's the Gemara that says that's Ra Achara Tava Makabla Gerim. You don't accept Gerim that are low lishma. Okay, you don't accept them for that reason. So Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is learning that she is low lishma, just like someone that's trying to go marry into Judaism.
Why is it low lishma? I don't see it.
Because she's the reason that she's looking in the first
feels
place.
a void in her life.
Because she's
Okay,
not
so
happy.
what?
That had nothing to do with her finding the
Okay,
emes.
what do you mean? If she felt complete, why would she feel? Why should
This
she
is
love?
the maskana. You're arguing the maskana. The reason that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are wrong, right, is because l'maisa l'halocha, it doesn't matter what causes a person to start looking, right? But once a person starts looking, if they find the emes, then we have to. It's our achrayus as the guardians of emes. We have to provide it to them. We've got to teach it to them. We have to be makabla gerim. We can't say a girl that's trying to marry a Yiddish boy so she can have money, right, and whatever. She's not looking for emes. She's just looking for acceptance.
That's not what's happening, though.
Right? She and this girl Timna, she wasn't looking for our acceptance. She was saying, I got rejected by my people, then I found emes, right? And now you should accept me for the emes that I found. And they're saying, no, you're not l'shem shemayim, right? You were only looking in the first place because you're not happy with what they gave you, right? That's the reason why you're here in the first
Doesn't
place.
mean there's something
Isn't
wrong with
that
that.
every girl in my circus? They're saying that they don't fit in with a guy, and so they find, okay, this is the emes. They're looking for all the
Right.
You hear them go looking all over.
Right.
It's Put Israel, no? It's
I mean,
Israel.
Rabbi,
That was the kasha I had before. I said yes.
So this is Israel.
Right.
What normal
but
person
Elamai, no,
was happy
but
would
Yisrael-
go looking for that?
Looking all over the religions.
By the way, Agavorcha, maybe Moshe, maybe they did it right. Maybe Moshe Rabbeinu did it right. He went out and he was makabelim, right?
After learning
Yeah, he didn't get punished for that, by the way. He didn't get punished for this. Over here, they got punished for something.
Right.
I'm saying,
Well,
what
we
normal
didn't get
person
punished
who's
for
happy
Moshe
and
Rabbeinu didn't get
is
punished for eating.
going to go
He's
search
trying to
on
do
other
something,
things,
Mashma.
forget about his whole
Right?
family.
Oh,
change
I heard.
That's something
You
wrong
heard?
with that person.
Hashem did two
Okay.
amazing
It has to be
miracles.
that they're
So-
they have a void.
Okay, no, I'm with you guys. Now, Lamaisa, just to tie it up a little bit more, okay? I'm going to do a fierce job for him again because he didn't do it, That's okay, he could have done it. No, but Lamaisa, just to tie this up a little bit more, what happens to people, right, when they feel rejected? What happens when this happens,
Amalek.
right? Okay, so we understand Amalek, but let's understand good what
Amalek,
this really means, right? So Pshat is like this. So the Gemara here that we learned is that on Daf Lamed Amud Beis
Chazara.
in Kedushin, a little Chazara Shir, right? Ashrei Ageva Asher Mala Es Ashpasoi Mehem Lo Yivoshu Ki Yadabru Es Oivim Bashar. Right? You should fill up your quiver with arrows, and then you will always meet at the gates. Amar Rabbi Chia Bar Abba Afilu Av Ubenoi Harav Talmidoi Sheoiskin Batoira B'Sha'ar Echad Naisim Oivim Ze Et Ze Ve'enam Zazen Misham Ad Shenasim Oihavim Ze Et Ze. So it's interesting. So the Rosh Hashiva, as we learn, he says, wait a minute though. When you're learning Gemara, when you're stagging with somebody, and there's a machlokes, why does that have to make that you're oivim ze et ze? Okay, you're having a machlokes with somebody, but you have to become enemies. And it's also mashma, the way that we learn the Gemara, is that the only way to become ahuvim is you have to start as oivim. First, you've got, they say love-hate relationship. This is pshat, right? It's like you have to hate something first in order to really love it, eventually later, right? So he's like, Mamish, what's going on over here? So if you guys remember...
This is the trend here.
Okay, go ahead, so say, if you remember.
This is hate-love relationship or
It's a
a
hate-love.
love-hate relationship?
Yeah, it's a hate-love.
It seems like it's a love-hate because she wanted to go and join.
go
They
ahead.
accept her, and then it turned into hate.
Without this
This is
motherfucker-
the opposite is true.
We'll say,
Without
go
this
ahead.
motherfucker, you wouldn't have the.
So the Rosh Hashiva learned something gorgeous. He's saying like this, is that when you're going to learn, right, normally what we do is that we have a certain perspective, a pshat, right? We're here to learn something, right? And the chavrusa is actually, he's a problem. Because I came here, I'm here focused on my pshat, right? And you are a problem with my pshat. Because you keep arguing against my pshat, right?
It was given with fire. That's really
So that's a problem.
Rabbi Adrian lives this every morning.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. So Lamaisa, so he's learning is that's the reason when a person feels that something is, like we'll call it, stifling him, right, or preventing him from getting to what he needs to get to, right, or having something that he's supposed to have, right. This is my pshat. So therefore, I feel anyone who stifles me or prevents me to get something that I'm supposed to have is my enemy, right? And therefore, I have to feel that you're my oyev initially. But what does Torah do? Torah has a very special koyach that when you're misasik and Torah, you're oisik and it's lishma, and each person really doesn't have an agenda or an ego, right? That we're really here to learn what the emes of Torah says, right? So then it's nicing. It changes my perspective that you're actually not my enemy. You're not trying to prevent my or stifle my growth, but Ella, it's ahuvim ze et ze. Is because I couldn't actually learn without you. And this was Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan, right? Toiva.
Rova and Abai.
Okay, but what does Reish Lakish what does Reish Lakish say? Chaluta omituta. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't learn Torah without a chavrusa that's challenging me, right? There's no way to gain emes without the challenge on the way there. You won't be able to see all the different ideas and the concepts. So that's chadudim. That's also the Gemara before, right? We spoke about that on Lam and Amin Aleph, right? So you see, like pshat, this is that someone's an oyev if you feel that they are preventing your ability to become what you're supposed to be. But what if there's a different level? What if there's a level that somebody is actually?
Can we apply that right now to Timna?
Not yet.
She felt like.
Not yet.
Not yet.
This is the second level,
Okay.
right? But what if there's a better level? What if there's a different level? That it's not that you're just preventing me from being what I could have become, but what if you are replacing me? And now you end my possibility of ever being what I was supposed to be. See, if you replace me, then every time I look at you, you're not my enemy. I hate you. Because looking at you reminds me of what I thought I should have been. And seeing that you became the thing that I was supposed to have. This is, by the way, you should know why. This is Yerusha's. Like, Yerusha is the worst fighting, right? It's the worst. Because I was supposed to be the favorite child. And the fact that he gives you more, I'll never be able to get back my chalik of being a favorite child or being loved the same as you, right? Because he's dead now and he gave you more. And I'll fight you until I'll lose all the money that I have just to fight you back because I hate you, right? Well, this mom is crazy. You see right? But you see families that were so close, and after Yerusha, they hate each other. The mamish will never talk to each other again. The mamish have been involved with this. Crazy, right? One thing is when you prevent me to grow, but the worst thing is when you replace me and you take my place, right? Then also sometimes in politics and things of that nature, that's why sometimes people will never let up because you took my place. I could have been the Rav, I could have been the Rosh Hashiv, I could have been, right? And you took my place, and I'll never have a chance to have it. It's a hatred, right? So the way the Rosh Hashiv is learning it now, this is mamish. I feel it's mamish geshmak. What was her problem? So her problem is that she was.
You have a crown.
She was machusa beloy taga, right? She says that I already came from a place that I was a bas malachim, right? And I had everything that I needed. The only thing I didn't have was a crown, right? And I felt that they were not giving me the things that I was supposed to have. So therefore, my people were oivim,
I think it's
right? They were just not giving me my due, right? But you, right, after I left my people and I saw the truth and I came over here and I tried to convert, right? And you rejected me, right? So now I see that the Klal Yisrael are rashis of all of Klal Yisrael, right? But Amalek is the rashis of Goyim. And by the way, who is of course the rashis of all of the animals according to the Gemara in Saita? That's the Nachash HaKadmoni, right? The Nachash hated us, right? It's not just that he was upset with us and that we were the enemy. He hated us. He saw that we have a place that he'll never get. And every time he looks at us, it reminds him that he'll never be this.
It's
right?
like the Palestinian people when Eretz Yisrael right now, exactly, one for one. They feel like
we have their history, right? We have everything, right? We have. That's a great shot, right? So we don't have time for that. Elamai, just to conclude, a few words from the Rosh Hashiva, though. I think that We see the power of A on the positive side, that your chavrusa is not here to hold you back. That your chavrusa is here to help you develop emes, and it's chavrusa omitusa. If you don't have a chavrusa, you will not get to the emes. It's not going to be possible. You need somebody to sharpen you. Chadudim zedzeh. You have to learn with somebody. He's your best friend, right? Your chavrusa is your best friend, right? Because you will get nowhere without your chavrusa. He's not a roadblock, and you just saying your pshat. And the other side, though, is that when we see that some people don't really develop what they're supposed to be, so unfortunately, they will hate the people that have the place that they were supposed to have. This is Amalek. Amalek hates us because they thought they were supposed to be the Reishis of Goyim until they met us. And they realized that actually we have their place and there is no way to get in. And this is the Nachash, right? Because he was supposed to be the Reishis of all the Chayas until he met us. And he realized there's no way. They're living my life. They're living my story. And we have to realize that we have to be very sensitive, right? That when we reject people, we have to make sure that it's done in a way that they don't feel emotionally that this was supposed to be mine. And then you took away something that was supposed to be mine. Because there's really no way to overcome that. If someone looks at you, that you have the thing that was supposed to be mine, and you're the one that held me back from it, unfortunately they'll have to hate you until there's some way that you can show them that's not really a pshat, that's not really true. So to be very sensitive, very careful. Give me a touch.